What's up, guys, and welcome back. Oh my god. Oh dear. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. It's episode number 85. We started this stuff top of the table. Yes, finally Juve begins to get a nice little streak going. Taken a while, not gonna lie. Obviously, to start the season off, just 2 wins in our first 5 or 6, I think it was. We lost the group opener to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Champions League group stage as well. It was a difficult beginning, but to be fair, it's kind of what we were expecting. You know, I said when we started the season off, and I talked about it in the last episode as well. You know, this is not the Juve side that won 9 Scudettos in a row. The same way it was not the Bayern Munich team that had won 10 Bundesligas in a row that we took over last season. No, this is a team that's lost its identity, lost its stronghold on domestic football in their country, and is no longer the most dominant side in the nation. This is a Juventus side who last season won absolutely nothing. A Juventus side that needed a major rebuild. A Juventus side that needed a big transition. So it's going to take some time, you know, and that's why I often talk about this, you know, in real football as well. You know, I think sometimes we are so quick to criticise. You know, we really do get so reactionary at times, and you know, obviously we've seen it this season for a few different examples. You know, obviously Martinez came into Manchester United, and I talked about this is more for individual players. Martinez came to Manchester United, 2 games in, the Red Devils lost them both. I think it was a home to Brighton, away against Brentford, I think it was. But Martinez, obviously, you know, the most noteworthy thing about him is that for a centre half, he is, you know, I'll be honest here, very small. You know, he would not get much success on Tinder. He'd miss out on a lot of girls' criteria because he's only 5'9", I think he is. So, you know, everyone after 2 games was like, you know, he's exposed. He can't do it in the Premier League. Since then, he's become a bit of a fan's favourite with the Red Devils, or from what I've seen on social media, the fans seem to love him. You know, he's really, really shown that he's a fighter, he's a warrior, you know. And those first 2 games seemed like a bit of a distant memory. It was, you know, it's kind of the same with Darwin Núñez at Liverpool as well. You know, we saw obviously he scored on the opening day, to be fair, away at Fulham, and of course in the Community Shield as well. But obviously he had a bit of a goal drought. He had that moment of madness, the red card against Crystal Palace as well for that headbutt. And everyone was saying, you know, he's a waste of money. Liverpool have just, you know, bought a white elephant. Absolutely terrible investment. Since then, he's been alright, you know, he's been alright since then, you know, nothing what you'd call spectacular per se, like an Erling Haaland goal-to-game ratio, but still, he's done alright, and again, he's a young man in a new country, you know, new play style and so on. It's going to take time, but, you know, I think sometimes people are just so reactionary, you know, and I think that we saw this season in terms of teams as well. I mean, you know, Bournemouth haven't got the quality to stay up in the Premier League. You know, got thrashed 9-0 by Liverpool, and then they went on that incredible run after Scott Parker was sacked under Gary O'Neill. Very pleased to see he's finally got the job permanently as well. Big win against Everton for the international break there. I will be honest, I still think they're going to go down. Sorry, Cherries fans, I still think they are going to go down. But even so, everyone was like, they'll be the worst team in Premier League history with like 4 points or whatever. Yeah, not quite. I think sometimes we're just a bit too reactionary, you know, and I think in life as well, and I know I'm going to think of a tangent here, but I think in life as well, it's really important to, you know, there's a great saying, you know, don't get too high on your own supply. I think sometimes you've really got to, you know, make sure that in the moments where, you know, things are going really, really well, keep yourself grounded. You know, I know it can be tough, but keep yourself grounded, keep your feet on the ground, because you know that it could change very, very quickly. And it's the same the other way around as well. You know, when things are going badly and you are starting to struggle, it's okay. All right, there's another great saying, this too shall pass, and it will, because it always does. And I think that this can be applied to anything in life, you know, competitive sports, social media, if you're trying to grow like a following. I know a lot of people like to do that nowadays. You know, educational, you know, stuff as well. I have to say I left school at 16, so I can't really relate to this one. But, you know, I know a lot of people have, like, what you call, like, exam anxiety and stuff in university and stuff. So, you know, things like that. It's all right. It's okay. Like, you know, you will get through those tough moments because, you know, it's case in point for what we see, you know, in competitive sport a lot for individual athletes, teams as well. things will pick up, so when things are going really well, keep yourself grounded, don't get too big for your boots, if you will. I definitely have felt that throughout my career as well. It's really important to make sure you keep yourself grounded, but also the other way around as well. It's okay, things will sort themselves out, eventually. Just keep working hard and eventually things will start to bounce back, if you will. So yeah, I think that to me is something I really wanted to talk about today. The reactionary type of things we see on social media nowadays. I think sometimes it can really, really alter a lot of people's self-opinion on how they should be doing. If they see that someone is absolutely smashing it in life, and perhaps, like a friend, for example, just got married, just bought a house, etc., etc., and you sit there and think, well, I'm single and I'm not in a position to buy a house. It's okay, like things can take time before you get to that level as well. We're all running our own race. We're not running against anyone else, So yeah, it's all right. I don't know why I wanted to talk about it today. I guess just what it is just social media in general nowadays. You might notice if you follow me on Twitter. I don't actually tweet that much. I do like to talk about the football every now and then with you guys, don't get me wrong. But I don't really talk that much, especially not politics. I don't talk about politics anymore or anything like that, anything kind of controversial. Yes, I like to talk about football every now and then, but otherwise I don't tweet too much about this sort of stuff because I think from what I see on social media, like I said, I don't do Instagram for this very, very reason. I think that sometimes it can be a little bit, I'm not going to use the word toxic, but quite damaging to mental health. I think sometimes we see like these images of what will be a perfect life on Instagram, and we think, why don't I have that? And you need to remind yourself, it's just a snapshot. It's just a snapshot of that person's life. And a great example of this, if you will, is one of my very good friends. Actually, for a brief period of time, was dating an Instagram influencer. Now, she wasn't what you call like one of the most known on the platform in the sense she has like millions of followers, but she had about 100, maybe 150,000 followers at the time. She's got more now. They've split up now, but even so, I met her and I was thinking like, oh my god, like I was looking at her feed and she's the typical Instagram influencer, the stereotypical female Instagram influencer, ridiculously, attractive with a ridiculous body, and what seems to be a rich, amazing lifestyle, and she just seems like perfect, I met her. She was the most down-to-earth person I'd ever met in my entire life. I was worried meeting her that she was going to be like working class scum, but she wasn't. She was lovely. She was a lovely, lovely girl, and she was the most normal person. I remember when I met her, I went to her flat, and yeah, of course it was a nice flat, don't get me wrong, but she didn't buy it, she was renting it, and when I met her, she had like a bolognese stain on her top. It was the most kind of normal thing you would ever see, and I think that, again, that's the problem with social media. We see this snapshot, and it's one of the reasons why I don't do Instagram myself, because I don't want to take part in that either. I know you don't have to be like that, present this fake image of what your life is, but I guess it's the reason why I don't use social media as much as I used to nowadays, because I worry that, if I was going to, be on social media, frequently and just show you, like, my highlight reel, if you will, whatever those would be, I would worry that I'd be damaging people's mental health when it's like, you do realise yesterday I dropped my phone in the toilet. Like, I didn't show it, but it happened, So, I think that's just something I wanted to talk about today. I see so many people struggling with mental health, and we're very reactionary. We see one thing and we just assume it's always going to be that way, or it always is that way. It could not be further from the truth. Life has its ebbs and flows and its ups and downs, and sometimes it is just this most euphoric thing when everything seems to be going well at times, and whilst I haven't experienced it yet, it's what I've heard. But I don't know, you just start dating. Yeah, I've experienced this. You just start dating someone for the first time. You got that, honeymoon phase, the butterflies, work's going well, your friends are doing well, your family's healthy, so on. It's brilliant. Life seems fantastic. But then there are days where it's just chaotic. You just split out with your partner who you thought you might be getting married with, or I don't know, maybe you were made redundant at work because the company's going through tough times. You've got to find a new job or whatever. life is very, very ups and downs, and very few things stay the same throughout its course. So yeah, reactionary stuff, and especially on social media, that definitely elevates it as well. That's what I think we need to do more of. You know, start to balance things out, start to level the playing field. You know, and teach young people that, you know, don't get your mind twisted. Don't think that you see someone on Instagram and think they have the absolute perfect life and it's like that 100% of the time, because I promise you it is not. But also, when things are going badly as well, all of your favorite YouTubers, influencers, athletes, so on and so forth, go through the same sort of thing as well. We all struggle, you know, we all have those days, we all have those moments in time and, you know, weeks, if you will, in life, which are really, really poor, but this too shall pass as well. So yeah, I definitely feel like, I don't know why we're talking about this today, I guess because finally we're starting to click with Juve, and we're starting to be in control right now as we qualify as group winners in the Champions League, and we're still top of the table, but only on the goal difference swing as well. It's okay, it's alright, you know, things will sort themselves out. Just work hard, keep yourself grounded, and don't get too high on supply, and keep balanced as well. What a weird episode. Docksy 30, not 70. You're alright, mate. Have a great day, guys. I love you all very much. Much love indeed, and I'll see you for next episode of Career Mode very soon.